Hello, human race with internet access. Hey, this is USMC Saxoki. Today we're going to be talking about military pay, going over a leave and earning statement, going over MyPay, and going over some basics with the TSP or the Thrift Savings Plan. Now, disclaimer before I begin, I am not speaking on behalf of the DoD. I'm not speaking on behalf of the Marine Corps. I am not speaking on behalf of the military. All right, this is a class that I've given to Marines in the past, and I thought it would be a good kind of class to teach. Now, some of the stuff I'm going to show you will be able to be accessed by a normal civilian. You just do a Google search, for example. But some of the stuff like MyPay and TSP, you can only access and get into if you're a service member or a federal employee of that sort. Okay, so this is kind of information if you want to know more about, hey, how much is a E3 in the military get paid, or how much does an officer in the military get paid? All right. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so as promised, the first thing we're going to look over is your basic military pay table. That can be found by just Googling military pay table, military pay chart, or going to dfas.mil, dfas.mil, and kind of search around in there, and you'll be able to find out, what military members get paid. All right, it's public knowledge. You just Google it, you can find it. So I know it's a little hard to read, but essentially you're looking at rank. It's going to be over here on the left. So you start out with the most junior, and as you go up, get higher rank all the way to general. And along the top here are the years of service, and they go by 2-year increments, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way up to 40, okay? So for example, if you're a sergeant, make it to sergeant, that's an E5, and you served 8 years, come over here to E5, 2, 4, 6, 8, you make $3,207 a month, basic pay, all right? $3,207 a month, all right? Now, service members that live off base, that are married, or have kids, or other circumstances, they live off base, they get something called basic allowance for housing. If you just do search for BAH calculator, you'll find a calculator where you just put in your zip code, your rank, then you'll hit enter, and it'll show you how much money you get per month for basic allowance for housing. And that's, again, that's public knowledge. You can just Google that. But it's based on zip code, and that is not taxed, whereas your basic pay is. So that's just the first thing, and without further ado, we'll move on to MyPay. Okay, so if you Google MyPay or go to mypay.dfas.mil, it'll take you to this part, and if you're not in the military or you have no business being here, please leave, okay? But if you are in the military or you get paid through MyPay, all right, you'll be able to log in with your smart card, or you'll have a login ID and password, and that's how you'll log in with that. So this is your home page. You'll come here, you'll log in. It's going to pull up this little screen saying, hey, if you don't have any business being here, don't be here. This is monitored. So that's kind of my disclaimer. You'll scroll down and click on I agree to the terms, and boom, it'll take you to your home page right here, okay? So this is the MyPay home page. On the top left, you have all your options, and we'll kind of go through these one by one, make it simple, okay? Again, a warning, don't mess around on here if you don't have any business being here. You get in trouble, it's a $5,000 fine, plus up to 5 years imprisonment, so that's your warning, okay? So first thing up here, statements, your leave and earning statements. This is very important. So you'll click on that, and it'll take you to your leave and earning statement. Up here you have the month, and a new one gets generated for the month you're in around the 23rd of that month. So this one was generated April 23rd for last month, okay? I blocked it out because I don't need you guys seeing all my information, but essentially this is your leave and earning statement, okay? And from here, we're going to go into my leave and earning statement and go line by line. So bear with me. It's a little boring, but hey, it's learning, right? So first off, I apologize. It's a little bit hard to read, but without a camera operator with me, which I don't have, we're going to go ahead and go line by this, okay? Try to be quick about it. So I blocked out everything, my personal information. I don't need it. Everyone on the internet knowing that. So name, last, first, middle, initial, social security number, have your last four, your rank, your service, what branch you're in, where you're at, data was prepared. Again, this was prepared on the 23rd. The period covered, 1 through 30 April. Pay entry base date, that's when you joined, whatever you joined. Years of in, EAS, ECC, end of active service, end of current contract, district RUC, that's where you're at, essentially. And then forecast amounts, all right, getting some juicy stuff. So you got your date of when you should get paid. So this says May 15th, the amount that you should be getting paid that date. This one's for May 31st, and the amount you should be paid. If you have any split pay, it'll be show it there. Don't worry about that. POE, direct deposit, that is where your money is going. Coming down to section E, leave information. So 19, leave balance, that's how much leave you currently have in the books. Leave earn, that's how much you earn that month. Use, that's how much you've used that month. Excess, your ending balance, your max accrual. That number is sometimes inaccurate, I don't know why. How much you've lost should be 0. If you sold any, and when you sold it, your combat leave balance, if you have that. Your ASED, I don't know what that is. I don't care. Default total, that, okay, so, sorry, this is aviation pay information. So this only applies if you're an aviator or you're a crew member. All right, so getting down into the juicy stuff. Tax information. So block 33, you have your state tax. 34, you have your federal tax, all right? Again, I blocked out my wages, but essentially it'll give you, so for me, I'm from Indiana, so I pay Indiana state taxes. Exemptions, I'm married, I claim 2 for exemptions. And then it has your wages this period, wages year to date, and state taxes year to date, okay? So we move with federal tax, exemptions, married, I claim 3 exemptions on that. Wages this period, wages year to date, federal tax year to date, okay? FICA, Social Security tax, wages this period, wages year to date, taxes year to date, and then Medicare. So this is Social Security and Medicare. These taxes here that you pay, you will not get back, all right? These go into the big pot that we are paying out to people that are taking this benefit, and then hopefully in the future, when we retire, we can take that benefit, okay? Getting into exemptions, the thing to note here is that if you're single, that should be single, and I'll show you how to change this. If you're married, it should be married. Number of exemptions, the thing to remember with that is the more exemptions you claim, the less money the federal government will take out of your paycheck every month, but the more you will owe at the end of the year. Okay, so the more exemptions, the less is taken out of your paycheck every month, the more you will owe at the end of the year. Okay, so you want to even that out. Your paycheck should take out the appropriate your federal taxes should be taken out the appropriate amount every month, so you're not paying too much or too little. So we'll scroll down a little bit. All right, BAH information. What I was talking about BAH, to show your correct BAH zip code, the area where you live. These are all blank. I don't know what they're for. Career C pay, if that applies to you. Education information, okay? In block 44, you're going to see MGIB if you paid into that, all right? 45 monthly. I'm not paying anything monthly. Total $1,200. So when I entered, I don't know how it works now, but when I entered, I think I paid like $100 a month for a year, and that got me into the Montgomery GI Bill. All right. Reserve drill information, this only applies if you're in the reserves. Reserve retirement information, same. All right. Block 66, Armed Forces Active Duty Base Date. That's when you went to boot camp or when you started your active duty. DEAF, that is when you raise your right hand initial. TSP tax deferred if you're contributing to the traditional TSP. TSP tax exempt, I don't know what that's for. TSP Roth if you're contributing to the TSP Roth. Catch up, that doesn't apply to you unless you're 50 years or older. And now we'll get down to the meat and potatoes of this. So, okay, this is your entitlements, your deductions, and other miscellaneous information. Okay, so brought forward from last month 0 entitlements, basic pay. You're going to see your basic pay there from that pay chart that I showed you initially. BAS, that's basic allowance for sustenance. You're going to get one rate for enlisted, one rate for officers. BAH with dependents, that's your BAH rate if you get BAH. Well, everyone gets BAH, but that should correspond to the zip code where you live. All right, if you're an enlisted Marine or officer or whatever, you live in the barracks, you're gonna get BAH, but it's gonna be a very small amount. All right. So moving on to deductions, your federal income tax withheld, federal tax will be there, Social Security tax, Medicare, state income tax withheld if it's withheld. Your serviceman group's life insurance, you pay $20 a month if you take the full $400,000 coverage. Your spouse life insurance, $5 a month. Traumatic serviceman group life insurance, you're gonna pay $1 a month for that. If you have any allotments, I pay for dental, $11.54 a month. TSP loan, if you're paying back on a TSP loan, TSP Roth, or let's probably say TSP traditional or TSP tax deferred if you're paying into your TSP. Savings allotment, if you have a savings allotment, that'll go there. All right, so come back up here, you have your total entitlements, subtract from your total deductions, and that'll get your 2 payments for this period this LES covers. All right, so first payment was made on April 15th, and the last payment was made on May 1st, or the end of April. So that is the meat and potatoes. If you're in the BRS, the Blended Retirement System, you'll see this down here, TSP Auto, TSP Matching. These are off, that's to say current and year to date. So current, this is what was paid this month, and then year to date is what was paid year to date. Now going back up, your TSP Roth or TSP tax deferred, those will show the amounts that you've contributed year to date. So from January 1st through this period, it's not going to show everything you have in your TSP. And then down here is just miscellaneous information. This is different every time. So that, in a nutshell, is your Marine Corps leave and earnings statement. Moving on, next one down, latest pay information. All right, this is going to show you how much you were paid on the last pay date. Okay, this gets ahead of time. Today is the 10th of May, but it shows May 15th, so it jumps ahead and kind of shows you what your next pay should be. Okay, so last regular payment of however much that is going to be made on May 15th, 2019. All right, pretty simple. So I didn't go over these other ones because they're pretty straightforward, okay? IRS Form 1095, that's showing that you had health insurance for the year or for the time period. Savings deposit program, tax statement, that's if you're in the savings deposit program. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Tax statement, W-2, that's self-explanatory. That's how you pull your W-2. Those come out usually around the end of January every year. And then you'll use that to file your tax returns. Travel miscellaneous tax statement, if any of your travel pay got taxed. Court orders, if you have any. And now travel voucher advice of payment. Okay, this one's kind of important. So anytime you file a DTS claim or you PCS and you file a travel claim, that money that you get paid from that is going to show up here. Probably on the date that it hits your account as well. So it'll have some information here, amount paid, and then you can view a PDF to get more information on that. All right, so turn on off hard copy statements, self-explanatory. That's where you turn on or off whether you want a hard copy or you're just going to get it from this website. Okay, moving on. So you scroll down, pay changes. All right, this is where it gets kind of interesting. Let's see what I got on first. All right. So allotments, that's where you set up if you want to contribute to another bank account, or you want to like give money to a spouse or a family member. You'll choose a monthly amount, and that amount will be deducted from your pay. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Just follow the directions, real easy. Correspondence address, this is where you type in the address where you want any mail to go to. So you want to make sure that's accurate, because if it's not accurate and you request information for MyPay or TSP, the Thrift Savings Plan, that information is not going to get to the right address and you're not going to get it. Federal withholding, that's where you choose whether you're claiming as single or married and how many exemptions you want to claim. And you can also choose a certain dollar amount of taxes you want taken out, but I don't know who does that and why you would do that, so I'm not even going to touch that. Savings deposit program, right? This is a special program that if you're deployed to a combat zone for at least 30 days, you talk to your finance officer in theater and they can get you enrolled in this program. You can contribute up to $10,000 and you'll get a guaranteed 10% return on your money. Okay, there's more information on that. If you're looking for more information, go to dfas.mil or just Google savings deposit program. All right, TSP. So yeah, again, federal withholding. You can change that there. You go over to the right. All right, TSP. So this is how you say how much you're going to contribute to the TSP from your pay, okay? So you can either contribute to your TSP, your traditional TSP, or your raw TSP. Now, my advice is, or this is what I do, I contribute to raw TSP because I like the idea of it being taxed now. It's already taxed. And then when I retire, hopefully when I'm in my 60s or 70s and I withdraw that money, none of it's taxed. So that's why I like Roth. Again, address line, you want to make sure that is accurate, because if it's not and you request your account number for the TSP and they mail it to you, it's not going to get to you because you have the wrong address in here. Okay. So this will show you what's going on now. To edit it, you go click on that little pencil in the bottom right, and this will pop up. All right, really self-explanatory. Again, traditional, Roth. This is what you're currently contributing. So I contribute to my Roth. And if you want to change it, you go over here and type in what you want to change. Now, yeah, so you can contribute 0% of your pay in your Roth TSP, or you can contribute 100%. And all your pay will go into that TSP account until you reach the maximum for the year, which I think is $19,000. And then the TSP will automatically cut off that contribution and you'll start getting that money again. So it's really up to you. Now, obviously, most people are going to recommend that you save at least 10%. I think this is a great place to do it. You put 10% in, you don't see the money, it just goes to your TSP. And by the way, your TSP is pretty much like a 401k, okay? So that is where you contribute. Scroll down. You come down here, change your address, click continue, and that'll do that. So, bam, that is MyPay in a nutshell. If you want to sign out, find the sign out button. It's there somewhere, okay? Make sure you sign out. So that is MyPay. All right, moving on to the TSP. TSP, it's a thrift savings plan. It's a great benefit that federal employees or members of the military have. It's pretty much like a 401k essentially. You contribute money, and now with the BRS, the government will match you up to 5% of, as long as you're contributing at least 5%, the government will match 5%. So if you contribute 10, 20, 15, 10, 15, 20%, the government's only going to match up to 5%. But in my opinion, you should contribute at 5%, so you're getting the maximum free money essentially from the government. Okay, yeah. So tsp.gov, you're gonna pop up to this screen, and without even logging in, you can access all this information, like the different investment funds, planning and tools. There's all kinds of good stuff on this website. It's a great resource. Okay. So if you don't know how to do this, what you're gonna have to do is contact the TSP, and probably click on there. Contact the TSP, request your account number. You're going to be asked probably your social security number, some other information, and they're going to send that information to that address that you typed in MyPay. So that's why that's very important to be accurate. So you do that, the TSP is going to send you your TSP account number, okay? And then from there, you'll get instructions how to log in. Then you can make a username and a password, just like any other website you log into, and then you're good to go for forever, pretty much, okay? That's the home page. So once you log in, you're going to come to a page that looks like this. All right. So on your left side of the screen, you have pretty much anything you need access to regarding your funds. On the right side, we have account balance by fund, account balance by contribution, and contribution summary. So those are the tabs on top. So these are going to show you what funds your money's in, how many shares you have of that fund, the share price for that day or that time that you logged in, your current balance, your distribution of account, and how much you're allocating to that specific account. And we'll get into these different funds in a little bit here. So right now I have money in the Lifecycle 2050 fund, the G fund, and the C fund. Okay. Then down here you'll have your total, and those should both be 100% at the bottom. Okay. So one thing to note here that might be interesting is that my distribution of account, I have money in the G fund, but I'm not contributing anything in there right now. So how did that happen? Well, originally I was contributing to the G fund, but I changed my contribution allocation to do 90% in the L2050 and 10% in the Charlie fund or C fund. So that's how that can happen. So recent transaction is going to tell you when the money went in, how much went in, to what account, and that should happen around the first of every month. That's when the money's deposited. Activity summary, this is where you're going to be able to see your gain or loss. So your beginning balance, and you can choose the time period you want to see, your beginning balance, contributions and additions, withdrawals and deductions, Interfund transfers, if you transferred funds from one fund to another, your gain or loss, and ending balance. Now I didn't block off gain or loss because that is it's a good demonstration, kind of, because like, cool, from in 1 month I made $466, right? Well, yes and no. Okay, if the market goes down, that could easily be a negative number there too. So normally it's going to be up, but that's investing. Sometimes it's going to be down. Sometimes that could show $2,000 too, based on the market. But in general, it's going to be positive and it's going to increase as time goes on. All right, so statements, you can access your statements, correspondence, message center, you can mess around with those. If you need to send a message to the TSP, which I've had to do before because they missed a payment. Yeah, moving on. So online transaction, contribution allocation. This is where you choose where you want your money from your basic pay that goes to TSP, where you want that money in the TSP to go. All right, so you can choose between any of these funds. Okay, right now I have, like I said, 90% in the Life Cycle 2050 and 10% in the C fund. So you click on Request Contribution Allocation, and here we'll show you your balance, what you're currently where you're currently putting your money, and where you want to put your money. Now this needs to add up to 100%. Okay, if you're new. So if you want to put money, all your money, your new money that's coming in into the F fund or the S fund, or the Life Cycle 2040, you just put in how much you want to go in there, and you click continue and follow the directions from there. Okay. Interfund transfers, if you have, so when you're in the TSP initially and you don't manage this, all your money is going to go into the G fund, and the reason why is because the G fund is very secure. Unless the whole economy collapses, you're always going to make money, but you're not going to make very much money. So it's very little risk. It's very secure, but very little risk. So if you have like $10,000 in the G fund because you've never managed this before, and you're like, oh crap, you can do an interfund transfer, put all of it in the C fund or a life cycle fund. So you can mess around with that. That's pretty self-explanatory. TSP loans, you can take a loan against your TSP. It's something that I did because in essence, you have to pay it back, but you're just paying yourself back with interest. So I have a monthly payment that goes right back into my Roth TSP every month. It's never wise to take money from your retirement account, but I did, and it's been okay so far. All right. So withdrawals, you active participants and separated participants. All right. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can start withdrawing your money. If you have financial hardship, you can withdraw. And when you're separated, you can do a full withdrawal or a partial withdrawal. Okay. If your money's in the traditional TSP, that means it's tax deferred and you withdraw that money early, you're going to face a large penalty plus taxes at the end of the year when you file your taxes. Now, for a Roth TSP, I'm not 100% sure, but you will not be taxed on that principal that you put in, but there may be a penalty, and I'm not sure. I would not withdraw your money unless you just don't have very much in there and you want to invest it somewhere else. Yes. So also with this TSP, you can roll it over into a civilian 401k, but that's something that you have to work out between who's providing that 401k and the TSP when that time comes. But once you're released from active duty or you're done with your federal service or whatever you're doing, you can no longer contribute to the TSP. But if you just keep that money in there, it's going to continue to grow and you'll still have access to it. All right, so just a little bit on funds and then we'll wrap this class up. So on the top, investment funds, click on fund options, learn more. You can mess around with this. And here you can go through all the different funds. So with the life cycle fund, it's based on the fact that you're planning to retire in the year 2050. So right now, most of the money is in the common index fund, which kind of follows the S&P 500. Okay. So as time moves on, though, it'll become less risky and more safe, essentially. So let's say, if you move this along, this little thing right here, that'll slowly get smaller. The G fund will grow. The reason for that is that when you're getting close to retirement, you don't want a whole lot of risk in your investments when you want to withdraw that money. So if you're about to retire and there's like a huge market crash, well, you're out of luck. But if you're mostly in the G fund, you're probably going to be good. Okay, so that's what the Life Cycle 2050 fund is. So you can click on these. You can click on find out what the government securities investment fund is, fixed income index, the common stock index, small cap stock index, and the international stock index. And you can read about them. You can look at annual returns, monthly returns, all kinds of good information on these to make educated decision. So I'm pretty sure that's my class for today. Questions, all right. If you have questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them, okay? So that's my presentation today. I hope you got a lot of information on this. I hope what it did was open up a floodgate of questions that you're gonna have, like, oh crap, I didn't know like I had all this money in the TSP. Oh crap, it's only in the G fund. I'm not making any money on that. You go on your LES. Why is this money being taken out for this and this and this? And it's the more you know, the more questions you can ask, the more informed you can be, and the smarter you can be with your money. So that's my main thing here. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please give me a like if you liked it. Give me a dislike if you didn't. Tell me why. Okay. I am here to help you live smarter, live simpler, live with more money. I'm here to Saxoki your life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.